Hey Algebra 1, and thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be looking at lesson 7.3, special products of polynomials. So we're still going to be multiplying polynomials today. There's going to be two special types that we talk about. Today we're going to be looking for 9 things to go on our notes. Let's go ahead and get started. First thing we want to know is what happens when we square a binomial pattern. It's essentially just applying your exponent rules. We have a squared, a plus b to the second power just means a plus b times a plus b. And then what you do is the FOIL method and then simplify. Same thing would be true for if you had subtraction. When we have parentheses around it, we would have x minus 5 squared, which just means x minus 5 times x minus 5. Again, after this, we would FOIL, then simplify. So let's go ahead and take time now to pause and write down number 1 in our notes for a square of a binomial pattern. Once you're done, click play to see how it's done. So what we're going to do here is basically just write these out and then find what it looks like after simplified. So what I'm essentially going to do is write out 3x plus 4 2 times. And then we're going to FOIL. So 3x times 3x is 9x squared. 3x times 4 is 12x. 4 times 3x is also 12x. And 4 times 4 is 16. Then I can combine my like terms. For these, most likely they're going to be right in the middle. So I'm going to have 9x squared plus 24 plus 16. Okay, same thing is true for letter B. I would have 5x minus 2y written twice. Again, once I read them twice, I'm going to FOIL. 5x times 5x is 25x squared. 5x times negative 2y is negative 10xy. Negative 2y times 5x is also negative 10xy. And then negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4, and we keep that y squared. Once we're done, we're ready to combine my two like terms of x, y's. So I have 25x squared minus 20xy plus 4y squared. Okay, so on this next page, we're going to try some. Go ahead and try these by yourself, 2 through 5. And once you're done, click play to check your answers. Again, let's go ahead and pause here so you can try these by yourself. All right, so number 2, we have x plus 7 squared. So that means we have x squared plus 7x plus 7x plus 49. So that means we'll have x squared plus 14x plus 49 for number 2. For number 3, we have 7x minus 3 multiplied by itself. So 7x times 7x is 49x squared. 7x times negative 3 is negative 21x. Negative 3 times 7x, also negative 21x. And negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9. Combine your two like terms in the middle, we would have 49x squared minus 42x plus 9. Number 4, we have 4x minus y multiplied by itself. So 4x times 4x is 16x squared. 4x times negative y is negative 4xy. Also, the same thing is true, would be negative y times 4x would be negative 4xy. And then negative y times negative y is a positive y squared. Combine these two like terms. For number 4, we get 16x squared minus 8xy plus y squared. And then last one, on this page, we have 3m plus n multiplied by itself. So 3m times 3m is 9m squared. 3m times n is 3mn. n times 3m is still 3mn. And then n times n is n squared. Again, we're just combining these mn, so we'll have 9m squared plus 6mn plus n squared. Ta-da! Here is another type of thing that we would see, and this is going to help you solve these a little bit quicker because these have a similar pattern to them. This is called the sum and difference pattern. If we have a plus b times a minus b, that essentially is going to give us the result of whatever a was squared minus whatever b was squared. So if we have like the number example, x plus 3 times x minus 3, that means x would be a and 3 would be b. And you're essentially just doing x times x and 3 times 3, and you still get minus 9. I am going to show you and prove to you how this works, but for now let's go ahead and take time and pause the video for number 6, write down what we see, and then I'll show you how it's done on the next page. So here's what I was talking about. So if we use the sum and difference pattern, we know that my answer for letter A should be t squared, because that would be a, and then b is 5 squared, so that's 25. So my answer will end up as t squared minus 25, but I'm going to show you how we get there. I'm just going to use the FOIL method. If you cannot remember the sum and difference pattern, you can always just use the FOIL method to check your work. That will never fail you. But it does take a little bit of time, but if you can remember the sum and difference pattern, this takes a lot of time off your hands. If I'm going to FOIL, I'm going to do first, which is t times t, that's t squared. Outer, t times negative 5 is minus 5t. Inner, 5 times t is a positive 5t. And then last, 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. Notice that my two inners and my outer and my inner are positive and negative 5t, and those cancel out, so that's how I'm left with t squared minus 25. Okay, so the same thing would be true here. I'm going to show you the FOIL method one more time, but then you're going to try to use it using the sum and difference pattern. 3x times 3x is 9x squared. 3x times negative y is negative 3xy. Y times positive 3x is a positive 3xy. And y times negative y is negative y squared. Again, note that the 3x was the a and the y was the b. Again, these 3xy's will cancel out in the middle, so we're left with 9x squared minus y squared. Okay? So, let's try to maybe use the sum and difference product or pattern here to write your product. Let's go ahead and pause, thinking about what a and b are. Write your final result, and when you're done and ready to check, click play. Alright, so number 7 should be x squared minus 100. Here's A, here's B, A, B. Number 8, we have 2x plus 1 and 2x minus 1. That's going to be 2x squared, which is 4x squared, and then 1 squared with a negative 1 would be minus 1. And then the last one, we have A and B here. So that's going to be x squared minus 9y squared. Remember, this only works with a sum and a difference. So you have to have the same thing in the front with the same thing in the back, except the only thing is one is positive and one is negative. That's going to conclude our notes today for lesson 7.3. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.